The story is told, and I may have told it already, about a man who was walking near a cliff, and he slipped and fell and went over the edge. But lucky for him, there was a branch sticking out, and he grabbed on to the branch. Then he started yelling, "Anybody there? Anybody there that can help me?" And a voice came down, "I can help." And the man said, "Who are you?" The man said, "I'm God." He said, "Well, get me out of here." He says, "Well, you have to have faith." And the man said, "Well, I have faith." So God said, "Well, let go of the branch." And he looked down, and it was quite a distance. And he said, "Is there anyone else up there?" Today's gospel passage from Luke about the mustard seed, as well as the two other readings, suggest a reflection of what faith is. What does it mean to believe? And the major point that I would like to make this afternoon is that faith is often akin to letting go. Not of a branch, but of a false sense of security that says that I'm in control, that says I can figure it all out if I just have enough time. While I firmly believe that faith is a reasonable act of a thinking human being, I'm also convinced that faith is ultimately a leap, a decision to believe in a God who is all good and all-knowing. It's ultimately a decision to let go and let God, as many of the 12-step programs put it. For most of us, we can't always figure out how this all-loving God works. We get understandably frustrated and want to know where God is in all of this. And this sense of bewilderment is especially acute when we confront pain and suffering, and it's almost defeating when the one who suffers is young or innocent. In the end, faith is an act of trust and hope. Not literally to throw ourselves into space as the man in the story, but it does mean that we must figuratively abandon ourselves into the arms of God. There's a prayer that is attributed to Charles de Foucault, a hermit who lived in the last part of the 19th and the early part of the 20th century. He wrote, "Father, I abandon myself into your care. Do with me as you will, and I ask nothing else, my Lord." I don't know if Charles de Foucault was a student of Ignatius, but he had a similar prayer several hundred years earlier. Ignatius wrote, "Take, Lord, and receive all my liberty, my memory, my understanding, my entire will, all that I have and call my own. You have given all to me, and to you, Lord, I return it. Everything is yours. Do with it what you will. Give me only your love and your grace, and that's enough for me." Faith is ultimately a gift to be nurtured and cherished. It's something that needs to be guarded, as Paul says in the second reading. It is a grace that is given to us. We never possess it completely. Faith is always in process and is always incomplete. Let our prayer be that of the father in the 9th chapter of Mark, who was asked by Jesus if he believed. The man replied, as you and I can, "Lord, I do believe. Help me in my unbelief."